I don't know how anyone that has half a brain cannot see that the conspiracy theorists, so, quote, were right all along. It's just like the movie 2012 when the president says those conspiracy theorists were right. Well, once you know that the criminally insane run through the Democrats, the banksters, have control of directed energy weapons, earthquake, tidal wave technology, weather modification, weather engineering, ice nucleation, creating ice storms. It's all electromagnetic devices. It's the same technology that the criminally insane used in the days of Noah. It's like they want to wipe out a species and start over again. It's not like it's exactly what they want. And us conspiracy theorists are the only ones literally that have, to quote the Bible, come out of the grave. These people are still in their grave. And we've tried to pull them out of the grave, but they just want to remain mentally dead, zombified, Orwellian. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't understand why they can't see reality. You know, my eyes have been opened by God, and now Google, YouTube, Yahoo, I mean, everybody, they're all coming after us, the mainstream media, and that they're against Christians, anybody that's conservative. If you don't believe in abortions, if you don't believe in anything that's against pedophilia, they're trying to make pedophilia legal. So anything that they want to accomplish, if we're against it, then they're shutting down our freedom of speech. They're violating our constitutional rights. They don't care. And how they're doing it is they're selling off to a law center in Alabama that has hired, I heard, 10,000 employees, which is 10,000 Judith Iscariots. That's exactly what they are. And it's sad because these people don't even know that they're the character Judith Iscariot. They're betraying the truth. If you work for these organizations, you're going to remain in your grave, and you don't want to be mentally dead when all this comes down. You don't. This is a spiritual battle. This is World War III, guys. We've been in it for quite some time. We're not battling flesh. There's not body parts flying all over the place. This is a spiritual battle. The goats from the sheep, the dead from the living. The goat would be the dead, and the sheep would be the she, the female, the right brain, would be the living. So from 9/11 to all these crazy things that are happening, it's not a coincidence that right after these things happening, there's new laws. Soon as 9/11 happened, the next thing you know, you're being raped at the airport, martial law. It's almost like it doesn't take a genius to figure out that they actually are creating these events. There's no question in my mind 9/11 was blown up with directed energy weapons, guys. All they have to do is paint the beams with TNT, and then they shoot laser technology, Star Wars technology that Ronald Reagan created with billions of dollars of your own money. This is being used. It's also being used against us for electronic torture, electronic harassment, to kill people, silent kill weapons. Electronic devices can stop your heart, just like a cattle prod. But this is in a microwave and a radio wave fashion. They can also make you want to kill yourself because they can use ultrasonic type radiation that vibrates the same frequency as depression. If you take a house and you make that house vibrate depression, it's almost like opening Satan up, letting Satan in, because these frequencies are depression, anger, bliss. I mean, whatever they want you to feel. They can make that house vibrate at that particular frequency by shooting. Right here in my hometown, there's an LRAD sitting on a cell tower, and they point this thing at me every night. I have to deal with this stuff, guys. It is absolute crucifixion. It's a torture. It's torture. We've been tortured. That's what truly happened to my daughter. She was being electronically tortured because once they attack a conservative, they go after your whole family because they associate your whole family with conservatives. Okay. And then some of your family they'll hire and say, okay, here's some money. Here's a favor. We'll get your son out of prison. We just want you to, do some damage to your brother or something. and they wheel and deal, and they make deals, and they swindle, and they racketeer, and they use coercion, and they do everything they can to get to that particular person. What YouTube is doing is absolutely martial law on the internet. You cannot, first of all, they've already made it to where you have to do a search to find even the truth networks. Very difficult to find us. It's like we're, in the desert, allegorically Jesus in the desert, facing the devil, right? So when the internet is out there and CNN is at the top of the mountain, right? And we're in the desert, we can't be found, right? And we've got no water to drink, and we're facing the devil because they're screening our videos, editing our videos. They're not letting the videos be syndicated. They're not letting the web crawlers even find us. So this is nothing short of election rigging and election fraud, because if you don't have an even voice, that's like saying, wait a minute, conservatives can't vote. That's exactly what it is. Because if we can't influence people on our views, it's like a debate, okay? It's like going to a debate and only one party can speak. And of course, in that debate, whoever speaks is going to be the winner. It's like the other party has tape over their mouth. It's called internet censorship. You can't do this. You can't. The internet is now a forum for a debate. So there has to be some type of legalities and evening up the score, guys. And we cannot allow this censorship to happen. You can't allow, just like what Obama wanted to do, is turn over the internet to China. Okay, I read about this many years ago that he planned on doing it. They're doing it. It's almost like Nazi Germany and the way China. I lived in California for many years. I knew a lot of Chinese people, and they would tell me how it is there. It's communistic China. I don't know how to explain it, but it is a very, very bad situation. I always talked about, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Bush is wanting to sell the United States to China. Why? Because they can't stand Americans. You don't understand this, guys. Why don't you guys listen to me? They don't like Americans. Chinese are willing to be pedophiles. They're willing to work their kids at 8 years old. They're willing to work for $10 a week. You're not, okay? That's a whole new species over there. They don't have that God law written in their soul. They're willing to do anything to survive. Okay? It's an entirely different species. And the criminally insane elite love people who are willing to work a whole week for $10. Complete slavery. I don't know about you, but the reason why I got involved in this is to stop slavery. You can see that little cloud right there, how it's being electromagnetically manipulated. You see all the perturbations and the never seen clouds like that until these cell towers were put up. Nexrad, Gwen, HARP, all these electromagnetic frequencies. Now, the reason why why do they want to win the election so bad? Because of artificial intelligence, guys. 5G is being launched. That's it. And all these corporations are involved. That's why the corporations are helping them. That's what Donald Trump's fighting. He's fighting, well, if he's fighting. Personally, I think Donald Trump is truly the left, and he's pretending to be the right, but because I don't see any arrests. I don't know why the FISA, if Hillary Clinton and Obama sold uranium one to Russia, that's all. That's treason. Should be a public hanging on something like that, but it's not happening. It's just the criminals. What they're doing is they're rounding up the good people and calling them criminals, just like in the days of Noah and Jesus. And when God told Abraham to go invade this, go invade and say, get rid of these, psychopaths off the planet. You've got to get rid of these people because they're not human. They're people. They're not human. There's a big difference. They're intelligence. They're not intellect. Intellect is God's knowledge. Intelligence is man's knowledge. So big difference. Inta is the Christ elect, God's elect. And That's why you have elections, guys, because you're not electing God's elect. You're electing God of the flesh, Satan's elect. That's exactly what you're doing. And of course, you don't even have a choice. Everything's rigged. When both sides are saying that they're rigged, they're telling the truth because they are rigged. You don't have choices. And it's just like the American Indians. We're being wiped out. American people are being wiped out. And it's very sad that the FBI, DOJ, NSA, local police are going along with this. How can they not know that once the targets are dead, us conservatives, you're next? Then they're going to get you to kill, because they're going to be creating conservatives. Okay, so right now, we're seeing things that other people can't see. Eventually, there's going to be no food and water, so everybody will can turn to them conservative. They'll be militias forming to get food and water, I assure you. And then the police will be arresting those militias, which they'll have every right to grab a gun and try to go get some food and water, because this earth belongs to us equally. Because Walmart's going to, and Sam's Club and all these corporations, Lowe's and Home Depot, that is owned by these big giant foreign corporations, they're eventually, look at the robins, they're flying in. They're eventually going to say no food and water. So these people are going to turn in, they're going to awaken like we are. And then they're going to say, damn, we shouldn't have got rid of these truthers. We should have done something about it. They're going to say, oh, those conspiracy theorists were right all along. But by then it's too late. So the police will eventually kill the people that they take away food and water. And then after the police kill those people, then they're going to kill the police and the FBI and the DOJ. So that's the plan of the elite. What else plan would they have? If they want to give this country to China, and children are willing to work at 8 years old for $10 a week, why would they keep you around? Are they going to share their throne with you? But you got to be kidding. One man can run one family can run artificial intelligence. Okay, doesn't have to be owned by multiple conglomerates like the mainstream media. Once they launch this computerized AI to where the cell phone will be the brain will be the cell phone, and they'll put chips in you that'll be receivers, and they'll dial into your electromagnetic brain. And let me tell you, there's no difference between a cell phone and your brain. It actually works the same exact freaking way. So let me go see what's going on here. People stalk these conservative hunters, psyops. They stalk the woods. They stalk my woods. So all I can say, guys, is that you better wake up quick. If they're that ballsy to allow the internet to be just taken down, and the president's not doing anything about it. I've emailed him, White House. I've said, please help us. We're the ones that got you elected. And we don't get any responses, guys. So this means that they have to be in on it. Or they have some type of plan. I don't know, but I'm not afraid of death, guys. I'm not. I'm afraid of failing God. That's what I'm afraid of. And because I know that God put us here to fight. But somehow we don't have the power to fight. And I beg God that He give us that power to battle these. I've read stories about how God's angels could kill 10,000 men in seconds. They were like beings of light. And I think to myself, it would be the only way that we could win this war. I don't want Satan to take over the minds of our children. What's wrong with that, guys? What's wrong? Join us. Help write letters to the internet and help us fight this criminally insane censorship. And it's not even censorship anymore, guys. It's radical terrorism to silence our voices. It's election rigging. It's election fraud.